3 days after I buried my wife, I wired 50 grand to engineers in London to build something no bully could break. When Karen's Tesla hit it, she didn't just wreck her car, she uncovered the secret plan my wife and I made before she died. The shriek of tires carved the quiet on Wren Hollow Court, Denver. Karen's 2025 Tesla Jeep punched my concrete trash can and recoiled, coughing smoke like wounded pride. I didn't flinch. 3 days earlier, I buried my wife, Marlene, after breast cancer chewed through our tomorrows. Grief hardened me. Karen mistook hardness for surrender. Neighbors cracked blinds. Phones rose. The can stood like a bunker, reinforced concrete, sensor-censored electric latch, London engineered, 50 grand wired across oceans because sorrow wanted something immovable. Before we go on, please, where are you watching from and what time is it right now? I want to see how many families, parents, and neighbors are feeling this story across the country tonight. Your comment helps this message reach more people who've faced unfair HOA rules too. Karen stumbled out, heels scraping asphalt. You set a trap, Tom Alder, she spat, mascara streaking like rain. I held my coffee steady, measuring breath against memory. 99 times she'd knocked my plastic can flat, pretending accidents, leveraging HOA rules like spears. Today, number 100 met something colder than summer gossip and committee letters. Rules are rules, she'd always purr. Rule 1 now, don't weaponize my morning. The Tesla's bumper hung crooked, exposing wires. Sirens inked closer, blue strobes painting stucco. I remembered Marlene whispering, "Choose the hill you'll stand on." This wasn't a hill. It was a foundation, poured with quiet rage, bolts sunk deeper than rumors. Officer Peralta stepped out, palm raised, eyes on the wreck, then me. "Statement, Mr. Alder?" he asked. My voice came level, like measuring lumber, not pain. "Yes," I said. "And footage." I tipped my chin toward the eaves. Tiny lenses watched months of mornings. Karen's jaw twitched. Somewhere, a neighbor gasped. Something bigger than metal cracked. Peralta followed my gaze. "Footage of what, exactly?" he asked. I swallowed once, tasted funeral lilies and dust. "Of every time she hit it," I said. "All 99. Before numbers ruled my mornings, Wren Hollow Court pretended perfect. Trimmed buffalo grass, cobalt mailboxes, and Karen Voss, HOA president, gliding Byron White SUVs between houses like Judgment on Wheels. We moved here for clearer air and quieter nights. Then Marlene's diagnosis arrived like thunder inside a sealed room. Chemo schedules replaced church bulletins and neighborhood potlucks. Trash day got messy. Medical cartons, ginger candies, soft hats, saline wrappers. I missed pickups when fevers spiked. Karen noticed. Predators always notice limps long before neighbors finally knock. The first time, she bumped our bin with a polite smile. "Careful, Section 4B, she said. The can toppled. My hands were busy holding Marlene upright, not plastic. The second time, she filmed it. "Documenting compliance," she called, voice sugared. Marlene squeezed my fingers afterward and said, "Please, Tom, don't start a war." I promised nothing aloud. By the 10th, I started counting, writing dates in a carpenter's notebook. Maple cover, oil stain, square corners. It felt like measuring rafters before lifting them skyward together. Fines arrived on letterhead from the Arborline Meadows Board, Suite 302, 19 Cormorant Spur, Denver. Uncommon address, common cruelty. Line items stacked like bricks, walling off our small piece. I asked mercy in the meeting hall. Karen adjusted pearl studs and said, "Consistency builds community. Consistency killed kindness." I learned something: bullies hate witnesses and hate paper trails worse. So I added cameras under the eaves, legal, posted, blinking. Every nudge, scrape, topple captured. I annotated video like hymns, time-stamped, cross-referenced, exported. Grief became archivist, not arsonist. On the 99th morning, she smirked straight into the lens and mouthed, "What will you do?" I didn't answer then. I commissioned concrete instead, across an ocean. I called Calder and Wyeth Urban Systems, Hammersmith, London. Uncommon vendor for a common bruise. I need a can that stays, I said. And a lid that thinks. Engineer Rowan Bell sounded like rain on slate. Reinforced aggregate, steel mesh, smart lock, pressure sensors, proximity shutoff, he listed. 50,000, shipped, custom anchored. I said, yes. Money wasn't abundance, it was life insurance Marlene insisted on. For something that makes you breathe easier, she'd said, scrawling her pretty looped A's. Breathing easier sometimes weighs several tons. Install day smelled like dust and lemon cleaner. We cored the curb, sank the foundation, epoxied rebar like veins. The lid hummed awake, learning the shape of wind. I named it Marlenium in my head, a quiet monument disguised as sanitation. The app pinged statuses: sealed, open, forced, safe. London code guarded Denver grief like midnight constables. Karen circled twice that afternoon, eyes narrow, Tesla glossy. She read the posted notice: safety-censored electric mechanism. Do not impact. She scoffed. Bullies hate reading, especially warning labels. That night, I watched old videos. Marlene in flannel, stirring stew, winking at me over steam. Choose building, not burning, she'd said. Build something nobody can shove anymore. At dawn, birds rehearsed. Karen's SUV crept near the curb like a lioness testing fence boards. Cameras blinked. Sensors slept, waiting for hands, not bumpers. My coffee tasted steady. She rolled forward anyway. Plastic days were gone. Concrete days had arrived. The Tesla kissed the can, then shoved hard. The can didn't budge. Something expensive groaned underneath. The app flashed force event. Rowan's code locked safer, colder. Across Wren Hollow Court, a neighbor whispered, finally. Karen pressed again. Screeching sang. Under vinyl siding, secrets started shaking loose. The screech still echoed when smoke thinned. Karen clutched her phone, barking to insurance. I stayed silent, camera light blinking red, counting breaths between sirens approaching. Officer Peralta crouched beside the Tesla's twisted grille, whistling low. Concrete, huh? He muttered. I nodded once. Permit on file, I said. Everything legal, deliberate. Karen pointed, shaking. He built a trap, she shrieked. Peralta's brows climbed. You struck a stationary object, he answered flatly. Denver's sun caught the badge, glinting justice across asphalt. Neighbors gathered like moths near flame. I recognized pity, thrill, fear. Someone whispered, he warned her. Another filmed, documenting gossip's favorite child, Karma. I handed Peralta a drive labeled Karen_ compilation. 99 clips, date stamped, quiet as snow. Evidence, I said. He pocketed it carefully, expression folding toward curiosity and disbelief. Karen realized then her own Tesla's cameras betrayed her too. Every autopilot collision uploaded to her cloud. Truth sometimes rides shotgun with arrogance, waiting for subpoena ink. Tow truck clanked metal. Karen screamed again, voice cracking against pride. I turned toward my porch, where Marlenium gleamed, unbroken, humming faintly like forgiveness wrapped in electricity. Inside, the house felt smaller but lighter. I brewed coffee, window open, listening to sirens fade. Detective Rhodes arrived next day, plain sedan, beige suit creased like paperwork. Your footage opened something, he said. HOA treasurer flagged missing funds. 5 million. Guess who signed withdrawals? I blinked slow. Karen Voss, he confirmed. My coffee went cold mid-sip. For months she fined neighbors $50 while funneling fortunes elsewhere. Piety disguises greed best. Rhodes leaned closer. You'll testify? He asked. Eventually. I nodded. Revenge never felt this administrative. Grief had built walls, now it built depositions. Marlene would have smirked, calling it poetic housekeeping. Across the street, Karen's driveway stood empty. Tesla hauled away, reputation towing behind. HOA group chat exploded, screenshots pinged across Denver faster than her lies traveled yesterday. Board meeting notice arrived that afternoon, urgent tone. Special session, financial transparency. Translation, public reckoning. I polished shoes older than her empathy and printed receipts crisp as judgment. Meeting night, fluorescent lights buzzed over folding chairs. Karen entered late, sunglasses hiding swelling pride. Gasps rippled. Rhodes waited in back, badge flashing brief lightning. Truth doesn't RSVP. I stood when called. Tom Alder, resident of 19 Cormorant Spur. Pages rustled. Exhibits a through D, 99 incidents. Projector hummed. Karen's smirk flickered 40 feet wide across beige wallboard. Gasps multiplied. Each clip heavier than law books. Karen's voice, laughter, excuses. 99 echoes of entitlement met 10 minutes of silence thicker than epoxy in sunlight. Then Rhodes stepped forward. Ms. Voss, about the transfers. Paper slid, signature identical. She froze. Clipboard slipped. Someone whispered, "She's finished." Cameras clicked. The board chair sighed. Karen bolted for the exit, heels snapping rhythm of downfall. Rhodes followed, calm predator among paperwork. Outside thunder rolled across Denver's hills. 2 weeks later subpoenas blossomed like spring weeds. HOA files seized, bank accounts frozen, gossip turned courtroom spectator sport. I kept my head down, lawn trimmed military neat. News vans arrived, satellites blooming like silver dandelions. Local HOA scandal, anchors chirped. They pronounced Marlene's name wrong, but truth doesn't need perfect vowels to stay strong. Karen posted denial videos, smear campaign. But comments flooded receipts. Denver learned hypocrisy faster than geography. Even her loyal deputy, Greg Holst, quietly lawyered up before lunch. I testified simple. She bullied my dying wife. Guess. She vandalized property. Murmurs. Then laundered dues. Silence heavy enough to bend microphones. Sometimes honesty is the loudest revenge available. Outside courthouse, air smelled of rain and exhaust. Reporters swarmed, flashes popping. I said one line, "Grief taught me patience. Patience taught me evidence." Cameras loved that. Karen avoided jail first hearing, released pending trial. She glared across steps, voice trembling, "You ruined me." I answered softly, "You built the ruin yourself, brick by fine." Settlement whispers started that evening. Civil damages, defamation counterclaims. Lawyers circled like vultures wearing tailored feathers. My inbox bloomed with offers. Money never comforted, but closure earned interest. Neighbors began waving again. Even kids rode bikes past our curb fearless now. Fear leaves when tyrants lose clipboards. Marlenium gleamed, sentinel instead of symbol of war. At night, I placed fresh flowers atop its lid. "You'd laugh at this, Marlene," I whispered. Wind shifted gentle. Somewhere a dog barked approval, ordinary peace returning softly. Phone buzzed, "Rhodes here. Settlement talks, 3 million to you." Static followed. I exhaled. Not victory, balance restored. But tomorrow's paper promised one last headline. 3 million sounded abstract until wire notice blinked on my screen. Digits marched neat, impersonal. Justice quantified. Yet peace still measured in heartbeats, not decimals or interest. Rhodes called again. Funds confirmed. She confessed partial embezzlement. But there's another account, offshore, coded Arborline Legacy. Corruption breeds like mildew, remove topsoil, roots still squirm below. He asked, "Want in on deeper probe?" I hesitated. "I've buried enough ghosts." He chuckled. "Fair. Still, keep your footage safe." I did, triple-backed, encrypted, labeled Marlene Forever. News portrayed me hero by accident. I wasn't. Just tired husband with tools and timing. They didn't see nights staring at hospital monitors blinking slower than guilt. Settlement check arrived certified. Bank tellers smiled too wide. "Congratulations." I nodded, thinking funerals cost less than justice. Money can't replace mornings we never finished coffee together. Karen vanished from Denver press, rumored coastal exile. HOA dissolved, replaced by neighborhood council elected with potluck casseroles instead of threats. Simpler governance, cheaper. Footsteps echoed. Karen's voice rasped, You should have stayed grateful, Tom. She stepped from shadow, thinner, eyes feral. They'll never stop looking for my missing files. Delusion clung. I steadied flashlight beam. They already found enough. She laughed, brittle glass sound. You think this ends with me? Everyone paid in. Board, contractors, inspectors. Denver's rot is deep. She lunged for box. I kicked lid shut, tape snapping. No more, I said. She hissed, you'll regret. Police sirens distant again, familiar soundtrack to endings. Rhodes emerged behind me, drawn gun low. Step back, Ms. Voss. She froze. Light caught tear streaks. I just wanted order, she whispered. Control addicts mistake cages for community. Boxes loaded into evidence van. Karen cuffed, silent now. I watched labels disappear inside steel. Closure doesn't roar. It exhales, long, uneven, relieved. Rhodes nodded. Without your footage, she'd still run that board. I answered, without her cruelty, I'd still mourn quietly. Justice and sorrow shake hands awkwardly before parting forever. Morning crept pale over rooftops. I drove home, wipers ticking rhythm of endings. Marlenium waited, dew shining on concrete like metals polished for unseen veterans. Doorbell rang mid-coffee. Envelope slid under door. No return address, only stamped phrase, thank you for cleaning arbor line. Inside, blueprint of new subdivision bearing Marlene's clinic wing. Groundbreaking drew crowds. Reporters framed me beside ribbon, scissors gleaming. Why build here, they asked. Because healing deserves sidewalks without fear, I said. Cameras caught sunlight on wet cement. Volunteers painted murals, butterflies, coffee cups, trash cans blossoming flowers. Symbolism unplanned yet perfect. Kids laughed painting lids pink. Denver felt alive again, finally collaborative. At dedication, Rhodes handed plaque, Community Integrity Award. I smiled small. True reward was laughter echoing hallways instead of gavel strikes or tires crunching guilt against concrete. Evening brought quiet. I walked Wren Hollow, counting porch lights, none flickering with suspicion anymore. HOA signs replaced by garden flags stitched, welcome. Simpler laws, kindness. Neighbors stopped me. Tom, you proved one person matters. I shrugged. Marlene did. I just listened. Wind carried jasmine from new clinic's courtyard. Healing smelled like honest soil. Yet closure lingered unfinished. My phone buzzed again, London number. Rowan Bell. Mr. Alder, interesting data from your CAN sensors last night. My pulse slowed, curiosity rising. Another impact? I asked. No, he said, a proximity trigger, human, 2 a.m., 30 seconds, then gone. Someone revisiting memories or measuring revenge left unspoken. I reviewed footage, shadowed figure touching concrete gently, leaving small bouquet, pink lilies. Camera couldn't ID. Maybe Rhodes, maybe neighbor, maybe Grace itself delivering apology unsent. I left flowers there till morning, unremoved. Sometimes forgiveness plants itself without invitation, blooms quietly where hate once parked SUVs. That night, I finally slept deeply. Dream came, Marlene laughing, waving from porch. Told you building works. I smiled inside dream, whispering, we built forever, love. Thunder rolled distant, never threatening again. Years passed. Hairgrade. Neighborhood thrived. Children played tag beside Marlenium, unaware of wars waged before their births. Concrete weathered but steady, like vows kept through storms. Sometimes newcomers asked, why is that trash can metal? I'd grin. Story about patience, I'd say. They'd laugh, assuming joke. Let them. Legends protect lessons better than rules. Rhodes retired, sent postcard from Florida, no Karens here. Rowan expanded company, named new model, Aldershield. I framed the brochure. Revenge occasionally markets as innovation with conscience. Every October clinic hosts candle vigil. Survivors place roses atop Marlenium. Lights shimmer across street. Grief and gratitude share curb quietly, no sirens, no shouted fines. I record each vigil on same cameras once used for evidence. Now they capture hope instead of harm. Same lenses, different truth, refocused forever forward. Sometimes wind knocks lid gently. I imagine Marlene saying, "Still here." I whisper, "Still listening." We converse in creaks, hums, electrical heartbeats coded by love and resilience. HOA gossip vanished into textbooks. Karen's name footnote in civic ethics lectures. Denver learned compassion the bureaucratic way, through scandal, loss, reconstruction, human stubbornness remade benevolent. Neighbors' kids call me Mr. T. They race RC cars around Can's base, laughter ricocheting off brick. I let them. Noise now means living, not defiance. At sunset, I sit porch steps, coffee cooling slow, same mug, same address, new world. Justice endures longer than outrage when poured concrete strong enough. Final blink from camera light catches my face. I smile. Recording ends. Caption auto-generated by system reads, "Safe, permanent." I nod once, whisper, "Marlene, we won." Fade out.